Coming up this morning on DITV, lawsuit filed. A UI student group responds to having its status revoked.
And later, we take a look at how students find their space to study for finals.
We'll take a look at the men's and women's basketball games coming up this weekend.
We'll have pretty cool temperature for remaining days this week. Find out more in weather.
All that and more coming right up.
Don't go anywhere. DITV starts right now.
Good morning and thanks for tuning in. I'm Christopher Cervantes.
And I'm Sydney Zatz.
We have an update from yesterday's report on a student organization that had its registration stripped. The former student group called Business Leaders in Christ is now filing a federal lawsuit against the University of Iowa. The suit was filed on Monday and included 20 different complaints. The university stopped acknowledging the group after former member Marcus Miller was denied a leadership position due to his sexual orientation.
They contacted me to come in, had a meeting with me one-on-one, and it was made clear that I could be a leader only if I remain closeted and if I was not okay with being gay, basically.
One of the counts claims the university violated the group's constitutional rights as well as the Higher Education Iowa Human Rights Act. Stick with DITV as the story develops.
9 different local fire departments were called to a North Liberty home yesterday morning after reports of smoke coming through the windows. Though no one was home at the time, the house was completely destroyed and 2 of the homeowners' dogs died. North Liberty firefighters were first to arrive but called on other departments once it was apparent the fire was too big to tame. As of now, the fire is said to be an accident. Under a new proposal by the state legislature, Iowa's tax on cigarettes could more than double. The current tax on cigarettes is $1.36. The proposal would bring this number up to $2.86. This new push is being backed by a coalition of groups including the American Heart Association and the American Cancer Society. These groups, as well as Iowa lawmakers in support of this, think that this would prevent smoking in youth and lead to more people quitting. This proposal will be following up on the next budget hearing. With winter break and harsher weather coming our way, it's definitely important to stay aware of what to do with our cars during this time. Sydney, luckily for me, I am one of the few that has their car back in their home state. I could not imagine dealing with the parking rules in Iowa City. That's right, Chris. I actually have my car here, and you know, the snowbanks do not make it any easier to park on the side of the road. But we are going to toss over to Jahisha Thomas in the newsroom, who has more on how to prepare. Jahisha?
Thank you, guys. I'm here in the newsroom to make sure that you guys get all the parking rules here in Iowa City to make sure that we only receive presents in the mail and not tickets. So the parking rules now state that if you are going to leave your car here on the side of the road, that it must be moved every 48 hours. If not, then you are going to be at the risk of getting your car towed or getting a ticket. So if you are out of town, then just make sure you just grab a mate, grab a friend, get the car moved because you don't want a ticket, trust me. Also be aware that if there are any snow emergencies, then you may have to just move your car onto the other side of the road. So just be on the aware of that. And also, if there are any no parking at any time signs, they do supersede all other emergencies. So do not park there. Well, that's all I have. I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas and don't get your car towed. Sydney and Chris, back to you.
Thanks, Shahisha. You know, Sydney, I cannot imagine dealing with both Iowa City parking and Iowa City weather right now.
Oh, I know. I left a water bottle in my car actually, and it froze overnight. So it's cold and parking. It's not a fun combination. But we are going to toss over to Jingyuk Kim in the weather studio to see what kind of weather we can be expecting over the next week. Jingyuk?
Thanks, guys. Even though weather is freezing, at least finals week is close to being done. We have seen many 30 degrees for the last couple of days, but we'll feel slightly warmer temperatures for coming week. Looking at Thursday noon's weather, we are seeing cloudy skies with temperatures reaching 33 degrees. Moving on to the evening, we are still looking at cloudy skies with 26 degrees. Now let's take a look at our extended forecast. Temperatures will start to rise from Friday as we are expecting partly cloudy skies on Friday with temperatures reaching high of 40 and low of 27 degrees. Saturday will be one of warmest days of the week with temperatures high of 50 and low of 28 degrees. On Sunday, we are looking at cloudy skies with temperatures reaching high of 44 and low of 25 degrees. Official winter break starts with sunny skies. We'll have temperatures reaching high of 47 and low of 33 degrees. Wind will strongly blow on Tuesday with temperatures high of 45 and low of 24 degrees. Be sure to stay warm and healthy during winter break, everyone. That's your weather forecast this week. Chris and Sydney, back to you.
Thanks, Jingyuk. With thousands of students across campus preparing for finals this week, it's not always easy to find a quiet spot to study for exams. DITV reporter Kaylin Cluck went out to search for the best locations for focusing on finals.
Finals week on campus always guarantees a few things: a lot of studying, a lot of caffeine, and a lot of people at the library. With so many students gearing up for their last exams of the semester, it can be hard to find an uncrowded, quiet space, or even an open table.
Fortunately, there's still many other good spots around campus to study if you still need to prepare for final exams.
With so many finals week events happening there, many students enjoy studying at the Iowa Memorial Union.
And the reason I like to study here versus like other places like the library is because usually it's kind of hard to find a spot at the library and you end up looking for a long time. So I know that there's always going to be a space here.
If you're looking for a peaceful, relaxing atmosphere, head over to Art Building West. The beautiful art library hangs over water and is always quiet. Another great spot is the Rita Benton Music Library in the Voxman building. The small cubicles are ideal for when you really need to focus. Voxman also has a good lobby area for studying. Other good spots include the Rotunda in the Adler Journalism Building, the Siemens Center, quiet corners in the College of Business, and the Theater Building.
My favorite spot to study on campus is the Theater Building because I know some people there and it's kind of cool, like when you're just studying and you kind of see someone, you can talk for a second and then go back to studying. You can take a little break.
You're sure to find your perfect place eventually. Sometimes it just takes a little exploring. Reporting from the best study spots on campus, this is Kaylin Cluck, DITV News.
Thanks, Kaylin. You know, it's so good to see so many Hawkeyes hitting the books, but I know a couple Hawkeyes that are just excited to hit the courts.
That's right, Chris. And, you know, sports are always a nice little break from all that studying. Let's toss over to Bo in the sports studio to see what is new in the Hawkeye sports world. Bo?
Thanks, guys. The men's basketball program is coming off a much-needed win against Southern after dropping 4 straight. And next on the slate for the Hawkeyes is the Hy-Vee Classic, where the Hawks will head to Des Moines to face Drake.
We've been following a little bit of their games, you know, seeing that they're playing some good teams and, you know, they're challenging them, and so it'll be a good contest for us.
Obviously, anytime you play in-state school, it's going to be a different feel of the game. They're obviously coming off. We're playing a lot of good teams this year, so they're getting a lot of experience playing high-major teams and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's always a different feel when you're playing in-state rival like Drake or UNI or Iowa State. So we know they're going to be coming ready to play.
You know, I've watched a lot of tape on them. I mean, they played really well against Wake Forest, really well against Colorado. Really impressed with their team. And they got a veteran club. They're playing that way. They move the ball, they share it. Got a lot of guys making threes, a lot of guys making plays. They play small, but, you know, it doesn't seem to affect them on the glass like you think it would. You know, they're in there battling. So, you know, I've been really impressed. So what happened last night was not a shock to me.
The matchup will take place this Saturday at 1 p.m. in Wells Fargo Arena. Now, the Iowa women's basketball team did make it in the top 25 rankings this week and are now ready to take on their in-state rival, Northern Iowa. Here's what the team had to say about the game.
So right now it's finals week, so we're kind of grinding it out right now with practice and getting ready for exams, but we're really excited to get back at it, to take UNI on the road. I think it's going to be, you know, another in-state rival because it's going to be a good game. They're going to give us our best shot, and we're going to give them their best shot. Just being able to rely on each other, especially on the road. A lot of times we're here at Carver, we have our fan base here, we have that support, but on the road sometimes we don't have that. I mean,
we always want to be state champs, and, you know, to take down Iowa State first, that was awesome. So now we just got to move on to our next in-state rival, which is UNI. I feel like this team
we deserve the top 25, but obviously, like I said, we want to be higher, and we're going to work every day, and we're going to work our butts off to get a higher ranking than 25th. Being able to rely on each other and believe in each other, I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
The Iowa women's basketball team will head up north to Cedar Falls for the game this weekend. Yesterday began the 2017 USA Diving Winter National Championships in Greensboro, North Carolina. UI divers Will Brenner and Anton Hohers are competing with 150 of the nation's best divers. Brenner scored a 243.85 off the 1-meter springboard, placing 19th overall. Hohers will compete for the Hawkeyes from off the platform on Friday afternoon. Now, over the years in college football, players and coaches come and go. But here at the University of Iowa, one constant remains: a voice. A voice Iowa fans from all across the country tune in their radios to every Saturday in the fall to listen to the Hawks beat down on the Big Ten. But the road to the press box isn't easy. This spring, DITV Sports is unveiling a new documentary featuring the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin. But until then, here's a little sneak peek. Take a look.
Live from Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, this is Hawkeye Football.
I love listening to the radio. My folks had given me a little spin dial transistor radio when I was like in 3rd grade, and that's how I was introduced to Jack Buck and Harry Carey. You could bring in all these wonderful 50,000 watt radio stations at night and listen to all these great baseball announcers. That's kind of how I got hooked. So I get to my senior year in high school, and I'm thinking, well, you know what, I'll be pumping gas most of my life in Cascade, Iowa. I sat down with my guidance counselor, and he said, well, what are you going to do with your life after you get out of high school? Well, he said, did you ever think about mass communications or journalism? Well, I hadn't. And so we researched broadcast schools. I ended up in Minneapolis at Brown Institute, which is a great radio TV school. And then I just wanted to get out and work. Got my first job in Southern Illinois, down around St. Louis, kind of bounced around there to a couple different radio stations. So I get a call out of the blue one day from a member of the search committee here, and they said, hey, we're just curious as to why you haven't applied for the Iowa job. And he said, hey, we're going to hire a new play-by-play boy, brand new voice of the Hawks. So I applied, got the job.
9 seconds to play, and Drew Tate doesn't know that. The game's going to end on this play. He fires downfield. It's caught and into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa! Touchdown, Iowa! No time on the clock.
Marvin McNutt on the catch on the final play of the game. The Hawkeyes defeat Michigan State 15-13.
From the 23-yard line, it's a 33-yard kick. Tyler Kluber with a snap, the spot, the kick is on the way. It's good! It's good! Iowa wins 14-13. 14-13. Back to the future, 1985, revisited. And Iowa knocks off 9-0, unbeaten until now, the Michigan Wolverines.
21 years later, here we are.
Now all of us here at DITV are very excited for the unveiling, so be sure to keep an eye out for that in the spring. That's all I have in the sports studio for today. Come back tomorrow for Mary Kate Herring and Zach Mackey's final pregame show of the year where they'll break down Iowa's matchup with Boston College in the Pinstripe Bowl. Guys, back to you.
Okay, everyone, that brings this Thursday morning broadcast to an end. I'm Christopher Cervantes.
And I'm Sunny Zatz. Have a good day, Iowa City, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.